On the right wing there is Ruan Manuel rather. And that's one of the key things as well, is always to try and make sure that you stay infield if you can. So he was flirting a little bit there with the touchline.
Yes, this Bi-Vista team definitely has the intent to take the ball into space. I spoke to some of their coaches before the game, and they've struggled with a lot of injuries over the last couple of days, but definitely a side with attacking intent, wanting to throw the ball into space.
Kolisa Yende with the throw-in. Nothing wrong with the line-out. That's worked well for them once again. Here's the charge downfield. Well, the Raiders, you talk about Bi-Vista, the Raiders too look like they really want to try and bring that ball in field where they can. Once again, unfortunately, caught on that occasion. Kalai Medimo, the big tight head prop, was pushed into touch.
Yeah, showed a lot of speed down the touchline. The burly and stocky front row man.
Well, good line out as well from Bi-Vista. Got the ball on the front foot again. It's the big men taking on the smaller men. John Kubaka was the man who had to try and do something about that. Bi-Vista back in field. Open rugby has really been the diet of this tournament, and I think that's also what brought so many people in. There'll be a lot of disappointments for the locals that Saldanha are not playing in the main final today, the cup final. They'll be contesting the plate final against Crusaders. Kabaka coming out with it now the longer pass and the chip and chase. You can see the strength of the wind that's taken that ball almost into touch and goal. And it's going to be a 22-meter dropout. One thing we have to mention as well, Rick, is we don't have a TMO in these games, so the referee, more pressure on them to make the right calls too.
And I think wonderful responsibility for the referees, especially in a tournament such as this, seeing club rugby's finest, and now testing the ability and skill of the referees as well.
There's nothing better than kicking a 22-meter drop into the wind. You really make it hang there so your players can get up. Rebecca, out it goes. Now, can they play this wide? Again, first time tackling from Bi-Vista, not have much use on that occasion, but here's a good finish. This is brilliant play, this. And it's going to be a try here to the Raiders. Excellent play from them. They kept the ball going. He started the move and he finished it.
Oh, spectacular, and the celebrations. Olela Daniels, the outside center with his try, but what a team try indeed. Good patience on attack. This man carries the ball in two hands. Good physicality. Gobe, but then it is the quick acceleration. The backdoor pass from Timanga. And rounding it all off is Daniels. Fantastic way to start their first match of the day. Raiders leading 5-0.
Well, the conversion is really just a formality. So the Raiders notch up a 7-pointer. Some excellent play from them and good running from Daniels. So that one also just hanging in there, but beautifully plucked out there by the Bi-Vista team.
Round the neck. Penalty advantage.
And they've got a penalty advantage too for a high tackle.
Penalty advantage.
A second penalty advantage, but they want to try and take this through if they can. Through their hands they go. They've found some space. There's an opportunity in field. Oh dear. Little knock on. Was advantage over? Will they come back for that penalty? The referee, no. advantage was over, and quite rightly so too. But some adventurous play from Bella Vista.
Yeah, very creative offloads, trying to keep the ball alive. Basketball alley hoop pass. And that's the mindset of this Bella Vista team. They want to keep the ball alive, don't want to create unnecessary breakdown points. And it just stops that defensive line of getting into position at in time.
They also look like they've got a lot of speed in their team too, so that's, they want to make use of it. So Elron McLeod, the fly half, will be also bearing in mind they're playing into the wind, so it's a little bit easier to pass. The ball drifts back to you. Adams waiting for it now, held at the back there by Slutswell, but it's another penalty to Bella Vista. With their lineouts operating well, they might well search for the corner flag there and a catch and drive.
And it looks like that's the option they've gone for. They have a very physical pack of forwards, and they would want to utilize that rolling maul of theirs. But it starts with the accuracy in the line out.
Well, the accuracy has not worked for them, and the Raiders now in the in-goal area looking to run it out. Kick downfield from Kubeka, and safely finds touch. So the exit strategy worked pretty well there, did the Raiders. Stemmed the tide.
Yes, very direct kind of play. Putting it up with one of the strong ball carriers, and then the quick exit. And a little bit of pressure, but one enough field for his team to get out of trouble. But things very evenly matched in this first encounter of the day. Bella Vista would be disappointed not getting the result in that passage of play.
Yeah, well, the front ball line out is normally the safest option, as we saw on that occasion. Marnus looking for the big fellows. McLeod standing off at fly half. Again, running from pretty deep here, and the passing not quite as slick as they would have liked, but that's a neat little grubber. And a little bit of pressure there as well on Panzu. Pick up and drive can be very effective down route one. Adams, change of direction. Again, looking to bring the bigger fellows into the mix as best as they can. Kubeka got the wind at his back. Does he get the bounce of the ball favouring him? Well, here come Bella Vista. They know they've got pace, so they're always looking to try and open things up if they can. Now the little chip kick in field. Well fielded by Kubeka. Bella Vista players very much all over the place there, but, well, referee waiting for advantage for Bella Vista. They've got an opportunity here. There's an early ball out to the left wing, and here's going to be the finish, and that's brilliant play that from Bella Vista. They really deserve that. Scott Lee Fredericks with the finish.
Yes, and look how much it means to their supporters. Scott Lee Fredericks with his first try of the day. But it all started from deep in their 22, the counter-attack. Skip pass to the outside, and then brilliant space on the outside from the left wing. Rounding off a sensational deep try from Bella Vista out of their 22.
Well, they've got a massive conversion here. It's into the wind. A really, really tough kick this. Yeah, well, it's not quite going to reach there. It's not a bad effort nevertheless, but Bella Vista, the important thing for them, they're on the board.
Yeah, we spoke about the danger men outside. The ability to keep the ball alive in the contact situations, absolutely phenomenal. But this man has a turn of pace that will make anyone sit straight up.
Just a quick point as well, Rick, you were out there earlier just doing the intro for today. Playing surface looks really good, doesn't it?
Definitely very firm underfoot. No early morning, and a little bit of rain fell, but still ideal for running rugby. And kudos to the groundsmen who have been working hard over the last couple of days. This festival tournament started on the 6th of April, and the field's still holding up strong.
Leave it back, leave it, leave it, leave it,
The Raiders, unfortunately, have to do without one of their front row forwards. Of course, injuries, you know, with 3 games in 5 days is just never that easy. Bearing in mind, these are club players, and well, yeah, come the Bi-Vista once again. They've got so much pace out wide, always looking to make use of that as best as they can. I just wonder to what extent as well Bi-Vista, I think 9 of their players went to the Bi-Vista High School, so depending on some of the ages, that's probably a lot of them that played together at school too, really know each other's play.
We know Ceres, small town in the Boland, and like I mentioned earlier, chatted to some of the coaching staff. It's practically neighbors playing together, people, teammates knowing each other, personally knowing each other, and that makes for that telepathy on the field.
Raiders competing in that line out, but not winning the possession. Bi-Vista, McLeod just moving it through the hands. Of course, they've got some big loose forwards as well, Bi-Vista, which does help from a ball carrying perspective. Change of direction there from Marnus. And again, you can see them just looking to try and play it a little bit wider where they can, Bi-Vista. Really done well on most occasions. Scott Lee Fredericks caught in possession. Those long passes don't always work that well. Bi-Vista have generally moved the ball quite efficiently through the hands. Out from McLeod. Back in field there is John Lee Skippers. Marnus waiting for it, but it's going to be a penalty to Bi-Vista, and that's one thing the Raiders have got to guard against. They're giving away a lot of penalties.
It's definitely their discipline, something they have to look at, but Bi-Vista spreading the ball 9 times to the wing. That shows their attacking intent, wanting to exploit the space outside. And we know they got very dangerous and fast men out on the wing, but wanting to solidify that territorial gain. Kick for the line.
Move over, there's the mark. Correct. Over.
See how the wind's picked up as well. Assistant referee there. To the back of the line out. Nice ball that. It's a great one for Marnus. He decides to take them on himself. No scrum off at the moment. And, a capable man there with Tiri Grootboom. And now they've got extra men here. The long pass over the top. Back in field. Some excellent play from Bi-Vista in terms of ball movement. And they're getting enough possession too, which I think they'll also be pleased about. They're quite happy to try and play the ball out wide. Heard that from Ricky Schroeder, how important it is to use the pace that they've got in their side, plus the power of their loose forwards in particular.
Bash got it, use it! First man.
Well, you can't play the ball on the ground. And once you're down there, you've got to release it. And then a little bit of chirping there from the players. Meneer Ref, jy's verkeerd. So that's another high tackle. The ref might just want to have a chat to the players here. You don't want to dish out yellow cards.
You saw high tackle? No, come here, please.
No, he's given the, there it comes. And sometimes you've just got to do that to set the trend.
Yeah, a little bit cynical. by Jamil Miller. Not falling back 10, and then the high tackle. As soon as a tackle is above the neck, above the jersey height, it is an indication to the referee that it's a high tackle.
Strong carry there by the Raiders, and Ndlovu and Pelani are really quite useful. Adams with it. Tempted offload on that occasion. Now the counter attack. Once again, you can see the strength of Marco Marnus at scrum half. He just keeps going. Now they look, can they find some more support? And they really try and keep that ball moving, not slow down things. And that's put a lot of pressure on the Raiders team. Sometimes they're defensively, they've just seemed a little bit misaligned. This time it's slow delivery, but the delivery belongs to the Raiders. That's a huge kick downfield. And the bounce is favourable. So, of course, utilising the wind. But they're probably thinking, Ricky, a little bit about that wind, and we need to use it more effectively.
Yeah, do you want to play in the right areas of the field and utilising that kicking boot to get into the 22 of Bi-Vista? Keep that error rate low, especially deep in your own half.
Yeah, there's the ball.
But what Bi-Vista is doing very well at the moment, they're generating quick ball at the breakdown. Doesn't allow that defensive system of Raiders to be in place to execute the dominant hits, and that's where they're getting their momentum at the moment.
The referee just wants to check up here and just make sure that Marco Marnus is fit and ready to go.
Now Marco Marnus, we would usually say a scrum off is diminutive, but this man has been so physical with his ball carries, getting over the gain line. His tackle fight, absolutely phenomenal. You want that bit of grit in your scrum off.
You would know all about that, wouldn't you? Eh? This is a big worry, I think, for Bi-Vista, because it looks like it's his right hand that he's struggling with.
And he's somewhat of a general in this Bi-Vista team, directing play. So it would be a big loss for them if he has to leave the field.
Oh, yeah. I think he's just said, I ain't going nowhere. And it's so true what you said, Ricky, as well, about his physicality. I think that really is a great help to this Bi-Vista team to get them on the front foot. Effective runner with the ball. McLeod, not a great pass to him, but well picked up by the fly half.
Onside.
Now, can the Raiders show some counter-attacking opportunities or abilities as well? Little handling errors can certainly be costly for your team. Although the Raiders, I think, are quite happy scrumming, because they've got a very powerful pack of forwards.
The Raiders currently winning their own ball at scrum time. Just a little handling error, maybe looking up at the defense line, taking their eyes off the ball there in the last second. So things very equal. Two handling errors on both sides. And the thing with handling errors, it just stops the momentum, the rhythm of a team. So you want to keep that number as low as possible.
I think also, as quick as possible, Marco Marnus wants to get this ball in and out.
Yeah, channel one ball here, especially if your scrum is struggling.
There you go, it's out. The referee doesn't agree with that. So the penalty count mounting against the Raiders.
Ndlovu finding himself playing from an offside position. Again, solid scrum coming through from Raiders. But yes, early breakout from Ndlovu. Just a little bit too fast off the mark.
So short line out this time for Bi-Vista. No real contest. Hofmeister and Schwartz, two useful line-out jumpers. Out they go once again, looking to play wide where they can and finding space, and some brilliant play from them. How about this for a chase? How about this for a try? Brilliant from Jared Marnus. Well, the two Marnuses are in top form here today.
Oh, special play indeed, Jared Marnus. Knows when to join the line, and so elusive. His quick feet and the ability to straighten the line, absolutely brilliant.
No problem with a conversion from Darren Nasson.
The defense somewhat in a comfort zone, just moving across the field, but this man straightens the line, steps off the left and keeps going. Acceleration all the way to the try line. And another 5 points for the men from Ceres.
Try of the tournament?
Possibly, Uncle Gavin. It is game 1 on the last day, but we'll write that down as try of the tournament thus far.
Yeah, it's certainly right up there.
White, stay! White! Work back, work it back.
Oh, that's not the greatest kick, but it's into the wind, and Bi-Vista certainly are looking so dangerous when they are able to spread the ball wider.
And that's sometimes the key thing about playing against the wind, is keeping ball in hand. It forces you to keep the ball retention and build the phases up, show some patience on attack. Clearly the result at the moment for Bi-Vista.
Schlatzweo coming away with it, actually managing to get past 2 or 3 tacklers. That's good ball this for Adams and Quebecer. Space found. Maybe they've decided, listen, we've got to play the same game. Let's also take them on. They've got enough pace out wide. They have chosen to utilize the big men in their pack of forwards in carrying the ball. There's another opportunity for them with
Release it!
Kalaya Madimo. Oh, a bit unsuspecting there for Ngobwe. But he's done pretty well setting up the next phase. They've got players aplenty to carry the ball up. And big testing time now as well for Bi-Vista in terms of their defensive work. They've shown their abilities with attack up into almost 8 phases right now. The long pass, Quebecer. Still, they're probing now. That's great. Through 8 phases. Can this defense hold? That's the key question. Oh, knock on there. So Bi-Vista get out of jail.
A better passage of play from the Raiders. 10 plus phases. Letting the forwards carry direct and straight. Good low body position by Litchfield. Just going down to ground and losing control of that ball, but 5 visits to the opponent's 22 on the side of Bi-Vista, only 2 on the side of Raiders. They want to get results every time they visit the 22 of the opposition.
Well, their coach Harold Primo is probably thinking a little bit about, you know, we need to get some more points on the board before half-time. We've seen an industrious effort from both Adams and Marnus as the 2 scrum halves on play today. But the put-in belongs to Bi-Vista. I'm just going to suggest that if the Raiders get a tight head here, I'll tell you what, they can really make sure they can get a 5-pointer. They need the strength in the scrum, and that they get. But here come once again Bi-Vista, keeping the ball in hand, moving it, and Fredericks, I think, has stepped into touch. So no, in fact, obstruction. So this time it's the Raiders who have the penalty. It's quite close to the touchline, but no doubt they could, if they could, well, they might even have a go at goal. No, he's going to kick. He's got a left boot as well, Quebecer.
Yeah, Raiders would definitely want to make sure of their first time tackles. Moment allowing the Bi-Vista team to make a lot of yards, especially down the touchline. So making that dominant hits, those first hits. Bella Vista leading with the possession, 56%. But Raiders, the territory, 59% in their favor. They would want more results.
Well, we would expect that as well with the wind at their back, that they, would have some sort of territory strength, which they've had, but they haven't converted that into enough points. Just a solitary try at the moment to Daniels. And it's the same Daniels now. Also another high tackle. Well, the high tackle was not penalised. It was playing the ball on the ground that time that the referee blew his whistle. It's better from the Raiders. They need to take the ball through a few phases. A little chip kick downfield has gone into touch. I think it's hit the corner flag and stayed this side of it.
Just as we say or request that they keep ball in hand, they put the little grubber through. Of course, turning the big pack of forwards of Bella Vista. And they would want to compete this line out now, make it as difficult as possible for Bella Vista to get clean ball here.
This time well taken on that occasion by Thierry Grootboom. Just utilising the loose forward as a line-out option, which is clever from them too.
Get back, watch it,
And a maul that's put them into a far better position than they were. And of course there's a penalty advantage for them too.
Penalty advantage. Penalty advantage. Leave it up, Black. Leave it.
It's not playing the advantage at the moment.
Right there.
Kick downfield from McLeod. That's not going to be out. No advantage there. So Eldrick Shimanga, the catcher of the ball, couldn't do much with it. The referee's whistle was the dominant feature. Well, we see a little banana kick here. Not quite.
Now here you could hear the frustration immediately. The idea was there, the execution of the banana kick, not 100% accurate, not like you would do it back in the day, Uncle Gavin.
Well, my banana kick as a left foot would have gone the other way, huh? Well, a little bit of basketball there from the two teams. Bella Vista still in their 22, but they would have been alerted to the clock situation too with just over 6 minutes left. They'd love to go into halftime in the lead with a wind at their back in the second half.
And it's always so important to score just before halftime. You just go in with more of a self-confidence. The team talk is a little bit different from the coaches. So crucial time period for both teams to try and get some points on the board.
Crouch. Bind.
Watch the strength here of the Raiders scrum again. Oh, not able to do much with it on that occasion. But once again, there's an advantage here for Bella Vista. Just the Raiders, one of the things I'll talk about at halftime will be the fact that they've given away far too many penalties.
Still got penalty advantage.
It's taken away their momentum too. So Duran Nasson, who's the kicker in the Bella Vista team, is probably saying to his captain, let's carry this ball. I'm not going to try and kick it downfield. Look what happened to my last one. It's screwed off my boot.
And they have the ability, they have the skill to keep ball in hand. We saw a deep counter attack earlier, try scored by the Bella Vista team.
Ah, that's a better one. Well done, Duran Nasson. Tough into the wind, but he's got them up to the halfway line.
Usually against the wind you want to kick the ball with a lower trajectory, not as high as possible.
It's another great take that from Grootboom. He's been very useful in the lineouts for Bella Vista.
No, release that, Black.
Minus McLeod. The long pass out now, again looking to use the width of the field. Scotty Fredericks has been full of running on the left wing too. Scorer of their first try. And now they've got men aplenty outside. Excellent play from them and using pace. This man has really been a fantastic effort, Marnus, but it's another chase downfield. Bella Vista desperate to score a try. Lorenzo Boer caught in possession, but yeah, they're going to score surely. Here it comes. There it is. Ruan Manuel has got another 5-pointer.
Yes, but once again, the magic of Jared Hermanus, the fullback. But his right wing, Ruan, now surely knows how to score tries. But once again, this team so dangerous from the counter-attack. Look at Jared Hermanus, carries the ball in two hands. Good support by Lorenzo Boer. Doesn't have the legs to get there, but generates quick ball. Marnus there. Gets the ball into space. And who else? Ruan Manuel all the way to the try line. 5 points, Bella Vista.
What I loved about this was the peripheral vision as well of Jared Marnus. He was looking all the time to see where he was going to pass to, who he needed to pass to, and went infield and made all the right calls. All kicks today will be tough with the breeze as strong as it is. Nasson with another 2-pointer for them. Suddenly Bella Vista are doing exactly what you asked for, Ricky Schreider. That was a try before half-time.
They'll definitely go into the shed a little bit more confident. Clearly the ability to score tries. And Kevin, you mentioned about Jared Marnus, his spatial awareness, but also must give a compliment to the communication from the supporting players. They are sometimes the eyes of the ball carrier, and just giving him in that direction to make the right decisions at the right time.
Of course, the other factor as well for Jared Marnus is he's very quick too, particularly off the mark. And that's is a great attribute to have, one's got to say. Knock on there from Bella Vista. Now the Raiders will be saying to themselves as well, what about a try for us before halftime, just to keep us in this game?
And they've got the perfect field position, middle scrum. 2 options to attack. And if they get a little right shoulder here, it immediately takes the flanks out of play of the opposition. Opens up that 8-9 option on the blind side. So yes, 2 options to attack. What can the Raiders do just before halftime?
Crouch.
Fly half Quebecer in the right of picture there, just in vision, is on the, well, we can't call it the blind side, but the near side. Well, it's a tight head. That's brilliant play by Bella Vista. It's actually everything they wanted, but, well, the ball was played in the hands. And I think there was good communication with the assistant referee there too, just to make Chris Samai aware of what was going on. Still another option and another opportunity with the Raiders desperate for a 5-pointer. Preferably a 7-pointer if they can. So Goliath taking it in. Everyone's got their hands on the ball at the moment. Ball held up, so it's going to be a scrum to Bella Vista then. Rather to the Raiders with that ball held up. Now, can they do what you were asking there, Rick? Although they don't have a midfield scrum, they know they've got the power in the scrum, which was somewhat disrupted by the loss of their tight head prop.
But very direct, very physical carries by the Raiders, using their big men to get over the gain line. The reason why it's the scrum on the side of the Raiders, the ball was going forward.
Crouch. Fine, keep the gap.
So have a look at that. The scrums for the Raiders, despite their strength, has not been what they would have wanted.
Wait here.
Taken at the back by Slutswell. Staying on his feet. Good running there by the number 8. And the pickup as well. There's a try. They've got exactly what they wanted. Was a try just before half-time.
And Litchfield running to the bench to salute them. Always great to see the wonderful vibe amongst these club rugby players, but it all started with this man's carry. Latsowayo. Strong ball carry, gets over the gain line, gets it close, and Litchfield, he's there for that last little bit of effort just to score the try.
Sorry, Uncle Zuli.
Well, I don't think he's in the military, is he? But the efficiency of the salute would suggest to me that he knows something about that. Like Shane Cottrell, the West Indies opening bowler. Not a good kick there from John Kubeka, but nevertheless they've got a very important try, and they square things up as far as tries are concerned as the halftime whistle goes.
Yeah, better direct play by the Raiders team. Latsowayo does so well to stay on his feet in time for the support to come. Litchfield, he supports, and with 5 points to his team.
Half-time here then in Saldanha at the TRANSNET. Saldanha 8 is Bi-Vista 19, the Raiders 12, both searching for a first-up victory. Now, we've seen plenty of action in this first half, and in particular from Bi-Vista, who showed that they're very adept at moving the ball out through their hands, but some poor tackling and defensive work initially. But what about this for a run here from the fullback, Jared Marnus, for the Bi-Vista team? Absolutely brilliant try, probably the try of the tournament as of yet. And then they found some more space, and it's that same man again, Jared Marnus, who opens up things for Lorenzo Boer. And then at 6s and 7s, the Raiders defence were unable to stop Manuel, who really just had to drop over. Two great tries that from Bella Vista. But of course, John Kubeka and his team would decided we're also going to stay in this game as best as we can. And Daniels, who started that move, was the man that came back into the picture. There he is, taking that little chicken wing pass and finishing off with a very important try for the Raiders. And they had the wind at their back in the second half too, the Raiders, first half. But it was Bella Vista who came back, and again using the width of the field, the pace that they had, the support play, and Fredericks kept flying in the corner.
Wait here.
Well, Slutswell managed to stay on his feet long enough as well to open up things, and then Litchfield with the second try for the Raiders.
Atmosphere here at Saldanha.
Yes, definitely. Netball is very grateful to be involved for the first time ever at this tournament, and we are grateful towards the sponsors for making this an opportunity for women in sport. So it is really a nice atmosphere and a nice platform for our players and officials to showcase their talents.
I mean, Rene, and what a year to do it with the Netball World Cup coming up. Of course, a lot of excitement around that as well.
Most definitely, we are very excited, and we are not so far away from hosting the first ever Netball World Cup on African soil. So we are very, very excited for the upcoming World Cup.
Rene, you mentioned some of the good work you guys are doing. What are some of those things that you guys are doing in the community?
What we focus on as netball, and I'm going to speak for the Western Cape, is to take netball to the people. Taking netball to the people means to promote netball on all levels, grassroots, high performance, like this event that is made possible by sponsors today. This is a high performance event, and we are very grateful for our players to come and compete on this level. And when we go back, we focus on, if I can say it, flucky netball. Because that is the heartbeat of netball. We never forget our grassroots. Grassroots is as important to us as high performance netball.
Well, Rene, thank you so much for all the high performance work you are doing, taking people from flucky netball, flucky rugby to the highest level. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Well, we'll see you just after the break.
by all the teams here, the 8 teams that are part of this competition. And this could be a sumptuous second half with the Raiders playing into the wind, and Bi-Vista have looked full of running in the first half with the wind at their back. Will they use that, or will they continue to carry the ball the way they've done so well in the first half? Only time will tell. Marnus opening things up, and here comes a little bit of space now and an opportunity, a little chip kick downfield. Which way does it bounce? The touchline is the winner, as Scottley Fredericks went flying down the wing. He really is quick on the left wing, and their right winger Juan Manuel too, also with a lot of pace. Well, we saw that most of the territory was held by the Raiders in the first half with the wind at their back. Will we see the same in the second? The Raiders in their 22 right now. They've got to be accurate with everything they do. So free kick this time to the Raiders. Now they're definitely looking to carry the ball into the wind.
Leave it out.
So we might see a different Raiders team in the second half. John Quebeco getting it out there to Daniels. Now a little bit of space thought. This is good running, this from Sniers, the fullback. He spent a lot of time in the back line in the first half. And we also saw a lot of good running as well from Schlatzweo. Out it comes. Again, the big men trying to find their way through there. Dylan Malchus on that occasion. Then back in from the fullback, Sniers. Very tall man, and sometimes quite difficult to bring down. But it's another penalty. Well, the penalties certainly are mounting for both of these teams. Bi-Vista deciding, hang on, let's take this quickly. There's no one at the back there. Sniers, the fullback, is part of the mix. Let's just hoof it downfield, and back into the 22 they go.
It's good decision making by Bi-Vista, catching the opposition napping a little bit, identifying the space out at the back.
Jamil Muller down at the moment. Played Boland under 20 rugby too. It looks like he took a smack on the head. Ricky, you know what? I remember from last year's tournament when at half time, obviously the teams stay on the field, you know, not like we find at club level. That's the way it is. There were no oranges brought on. But when they were ready for the second half, one of the players said to the referee, let's start the game. What you waiting for, you know? I said, no, but we're on television. Television dictates when we start and when no, he couldn't work that out.
But lovely to see a lot of these players so eager to get the play back on. I mean, they had to wait quite a few minutes for me to finish up my interviews off time. So I had to get off the field very quickly because these players, they want to play rugby.
They weren't blaming you, by the way. So Jamil Muller is thankfully back in action again. But we've certainly got another player down too, so Chris Samai is going to have to have a little look-see there.
It's been very physically demanding over the last couple of days. Recovery sessions need to be very quickly. The ice baths, because these players put their bodies through a lot over the last couple of days. This tournament starting on the 6th of April already.
Well, Brendan O'Donoghue is standing by to come onto the field, but this is disappointing this for the Raiders, sadly.
Can I just get my
Yeah, just a little bit of confusion of who's coming on and who's coming off.
Well, Brendan O'Donoghue is the man who ran onto the field, and I've just been informed by Johan Ferreira that he's picked up 2 yellow cards, one translated to a red during the course of the tournament. Maybe you're not so sure you want to bring him on then. But Ngobe, unfortunately, down at the moment. It looks like he He's got a real issue with one of his legs. And John Kubeka has been replaced as well by Itala, which is a little bit of a surprise. The captain being replaced is one of their best players. But the medical staff will have to make the calls there and do their little bit with helping Ngobe.
Gavin Cowley, what a tournament or festival of rugby this has been over the last couple of years. We speak about club rugby being the heartbeat of South African rugby. You just look at Ngobe going down, falling uncomfortable, never got up after this. High impact, that knee heavily strapped already. But just getting back to our point, what a tournament it is, seeing a lot of people from the different communities coming out to support their favorite team, their favorite players, and a tournament that started in 2018, absolutely special indeed.
It is, Rick, and you know, the other nice thing as well is that they've seen the opportunity, and you chatted as well at halftime, to bring another sport into the mix too. So, you know, at this point in time, we have that situation where you've got the Netball World Cup in July in Cape Town, so that's part of the mix too. So just netball is one of the top 5 sports in South Africa participation wise, so it makes a lot of sense as well. You're providing opportunity for young girls. I have a niece who's playing in the over 30 South African team in Australia, the netball in August, so there's a lot more scope. And you know, we heard about the importance of sport for women too. You know, we've seen a lot of cricket this season, we've seen netball, you know, we've seen football, we've seen so many different sports where women are involved, and they're becoming part of the mix, and it's brilliant to see, you know. And it's good that we are able at SuperSport to generate the coverage for these ladies to keep them going too. So a couple more changes for the Raiders, bringing on Olofse and Carlitz in the front row, along with Callum Benjamin as well, in picture there at the moment.
Just wait.
So a pile of changes. Carlitz on for Nkosi. A couple of changes then in that front row. Olofse with the throw in. I suppose those changes as well, Rick, would no doubt come about because of 3 games in 5 days. You know, the body takes a pounding.
Yes, managing players, rotating players of utmost importance, especially on the last day of a tournament.
Well, the Raiders very defensively aligned, but they've got some fresh legs on the field, fresher legs, should we say.
The knock-on back here.
So first up knock-on, the Raiders will have the put in at the scrum. And there's still a way to go in this game. That man's had a very, very good game. Thierry Grootboom.
Yeah, he's been playing like a colossal Grootboom. Good ball carries by Thierry Grootboom. The thing with the last day of a tournament such as this that has been so demanding on the players, we see a lot of handling errors at the moment. It's just fatigue setting in. Maybe concentration levels just dropping a little bit. So those are the things that need to take into consideration on the final day of a high impact, high performance rugby festival.
Bi-Vista, a very strong scrum from them. Referee, let's play continue. There are no knock-ons there now. It'll be a carry as well by the big men, no doubt. Somewhere along the line. Out it comes from Marnus. He's been a tower of strength at scrum half too. His distribution's been excellent. And just as I mentioned that, the ball doesn't quite go the way it should have gone. But the Raiders now in possession. Well, a little knock-on from them. Handing error is mounting in the game too.
And they'll kick themselves for that little mistake. 5 handling errors on the side of Raiders, 4 on the side of Bi-Vista. Snayers has had quite an impact in the second half, the fullback. Looking for work, looking for opportunity.
Well, those 9 handling errors haven't helped their cause at all. That time it was Adrian Carlsa who showed some good talent as well in take that ball upfield.
Crouch.
And you've really got to work really hard into the wind too. Keeping the ball in hand,
5.
every meter earned is of value.
Sit. Stay 9.
Minus waiting for it. Good
Vantage.
strong scrum from his team. It's gone through the 90s, so it's either a penalty or a reset. This time it's a penalty. Now the joy, of course, of having the wind at your back too is that they can pump this right down field with a good kick, and they're immediately on in a perfect attacking position. Dylan Nassen got the banana right, didn't he?
That's exactly what I wanted to say, Gavin. Nassen definitely getting the banana kick right this time, but started with this 8-man scrum. Good position, a lot of pressure coming through from the front, staying in the fight and getting the result. Bi-Vista.
Just on the line there, first man.
Important throw in for the captain, Chiswell Muller. As usual, it's Grootboom who's the man, but some early jumping and movement in that line out from the Raiders. Have conceded a free kick. Now McLeod, the long pass. Just look at the pace and also the support play that has been forthcoming for Bi-Vista. It's been one of the keys to their performance thus far.
Knock on advantage.
Always looking to try and keep the ball moving when they can. Now, I tell you what, this man, he's playing like a loose forward. He's a scrum half.
Leave it. Leave it black. Stay there.
Seen on a couple of occasions he shrugged off tackles. He's a very strong fella. Nuggetty, the long pass. Here comes a try, surely. Yep, it is a try. It's Dylan Nassen who's got over, and those are the first points of the second half.
But once again, what a run from the scrum off Markumanis. Great to see Nathan Nell, former Ikes player, involved in the coaching of this Bi-Vista side. He scored in the winning Varsity Cup match versus the Picker a couple of years ago, but the continuity of this Bi-Vista, quick turn of pace by Ruan Manuel, and support play. Dylan Nassen knows his way to the try line.
You want to know his way to the post too, because he'll be taking the conversion. He has got the wind at his back, so he's not going to have a problem with distance, no doubt. And he's just looking for a kicking tee, I think.
But this would definitely give Bi-Vista the buffer they needed, just that confidence.
Here comes the kicking tee. It's not going to be kicked to him either, or thrown to him. It's handed to him quite beautifully. There we go. Always need to have somebody standing by too when there's wind around to hold the ball in case it flops over. That cannot be the man alongside him, because he's on the touchline amongst the replacements. It would have to be one of the players on the field. Here we go.
You called it, Kevin Cowley.
You know, just always have a player standing by, just in case. Well, he didn't really need it, did he? He's got it over. It's an important conversion, that too, because that really spreads that lead.
And the Bi-Vista supporters are out of their feet. But such good support play by Bi-Vista, once again keeping that ball alive in the contact situation, carrying the ball in two hands, and a little applause from his fellow teammates. He receives Dylan Nassen.
Yeah, 14 points the difference at the moment. And also looking like it might just mount at some point in time, but you know, the Raiders have shown a lot of pluck and a lot of courage on occasions, and just they've lacked the finishing touches, importantly.
Leave it, leave.
Can they get themselves into a position? They carried the ball through 9 phases on one occasion. didn't quite make the most of it. Still on their feet at the moment. Thierry Grootboom having to make the tackle. Not a long pass. Again, one feels that just playing a little bit wider might help the cause. Doesn't always do that. Daniels with the pickup. Bit of an awkward pass, but nicely picked up by Goliath. Kevin Benjamin in the scrum half position, but the referee has got his arm up. That might have been a what we call a scone blow, knock on the head. Of course, the referee always doing the right thing is immediately blow the whistle when there's been head contact.
Is player safety of utmost importance, and that takes priority, especially if it's a neck injury. We saw some movement, that's at least encouraging.
Okay, it's recognizing the move, okay? It's a blue card. Please go to the table, please.
Well, it's a blue card, and as maybe just a little knock on the head again, which is of some concern. In the meanwhile, Chesville Miller is just explaining to his team what they need to do now, how they need to structure themselves. They're down to 14 men at the moment. So a little bit disruptive there, unfortunately, but as you said, Ricky, it's player safety is important. There's the carry. And that ball picked up there, but Brendan O'Donoghue looking to be part of the scrum too. So Ricky, a blue card given on that occasion, something rare.
Yeah, of course, innovative of this wonderful tournaments around South Africa, but the blue card, just a call from the sideline from the medical doctors for the player to come off for a head assessment. We did emphasize the importance of player safety.
Now, there's been a strong move in that respect, starting from World Rugby, the governing body in the world of rugby, and every precaution that's taken to make sure. I mean, there are many things that have been changed over the years. We can see how strict the referees are too with players who tackle above the shoulder. So the blue card suggests you've got to go off and have an HIA, a head injury assessment. So some good running from the Raiders, but now they've given away possession again, and that's just when they get themselves into a decent position, they actually lose the opportunity. And we can see how well the ball carrier has been supported during the course of this game. Francois Hofmeister has just been given a good talking to by the referee, who's half his size, I've got to say.
But Ligon Lindner, strong ball carry in the midfield by the 8th man. But yeah, these players have a lot to say. 11 kicks out of hand from Bi-Vista, 5 from Raiders. And also interesting stat, the 5 kickable penalties that was available to go to polls. Bi-Vista deciding to look for the touchline.
I think it depends on how far out it is. Yeah, it could be kickable for some guys, but maybe not for others. But I suppose with the wind you can add a few extra meters on. Yeah, they come again, Bi-Vista. Again utilising the width of the field.
Ruck now! It's a ruck. Back.
Another long pass. They really have found enough space to work with when they've gone out wide.
Lock on.
Logan Lintner
Leave it.
caught in
Lock on
position
advantage.
but holding on to it. This time the Raiders have managed to sort things out there, made sure that there was not enough space to move in.
So, can you show our point here?
Now the Raiders defense line not coming up very quickly, allowing the Bi-Vista team to sort of run with the ball in hand. We talk about them utilizing the space. Just like to see Raiders come up a little bit harder off the line, put the pressure, get in the faces of these Bi-Vista ball carriers and make the decision making time a little bit quicker.
Bind.
Jalen Fortune, the replacement scrum half, just waiting to get that ball into the scrum for Bi-Vista. The ref's not happy with the standing of that scrum at the moment.
Obviously the referee needs as much stability before the scrum half feeds the ball. No movement from the front row forwards.
There's been a couple of changes, of course, in the pack too, as we know, and Lorenko Junat is on a tight head there for Bi-Vista. Tight head always required to provide the stability in the scrum, but it comes out now beautifully for them. The chip and chase now, lots of pace here, but which way does it bounce? Luckily for the Raiders, they've managed to hold on to it. Some good work from them initially. Can they get out of their 22? I think that's one of their keys that they do want to do. You can see the strength of the wind there with the assistant referee with that flag up there, and it really is making it tough for the Raiders players playing into the wind.
Now the wind surely picked up since this morning. Bi-Vista utilizing that now, wanting to get in the right areas of the field. More attacking, kicking options from them.
So from depth, here they come.
Backwards.
Once again, Bi-Vista feeding off ball that's been presented to them from the Raiders team, not looking after their ball. Bi-Vista have certainly been better in that respect. So that's another penalty. There's going to be another card, is it? Yep, it's a yellow card.
Yeah, that breakdown was formed. Benjamin having a second go at it. And that is not allowed. Once the breakdown is formed, hands need to be out. You need to give the attacking player the opportunity to place the ball.
Well, in the meanwhile, that ball has been kicked into touch in goal. The wind got the better of the kicker. Bi-Vista also bringing on Francois Adams, the 2-meter tall man. He's a very, very tall fellow. This Hofmeister is on for Lintner. Bearing in mind, of course, there's a couple of Hofmeisters. One of them is Denzel, is 42 years of age. So he's had a good innings, hasn't he? Only beaten by the replacement hooker Adrian Mars, who's 43.
And those gentlemen won't say they're old, they will say they are experienced, Gavin Cowley.
Wonderful to see that guys even of that age, and you're seeing it more and more in sport, I think, you know, even find it with the cricketers too, that
Fine.
the guys are playing well into their 30s, sometimes up to 40.
I mean, look at Ruan Pinar still playing for the Cheetahs at 39 years of age.
Jimmy Anderson opening the bowling for England at 40.
Vantage Rangers.
Okay, here they come. Raiders. They desperately need points now. Less than 20 minutes left and trailing by 14 points. They need to score 2 converted tries to even just catch up with their opponents at the moment. And their problem is getting out of their own half of the field. They've been straddled there on most occasions. And I tell you what, at times as well, not playing into space, rather playing into face.
Penalty advantage.
Well, there'll be a lot of people very happy in Ceres, won't there? That's where they come from, eh? Most of them. Wonderful to see the opportunities that are provided for players in the smaller towns of South Africa. And of course, this is where club rugby comes into the mix too, providing opportunity for many of these men the first time they're playing here. Maybe for some of them the first time that they're actually showcased on television. It's a big inspiration, one feels too. The Raiders closed down there and good competition on the ground there from Bella Vista. They haven't managed to secure the possession yet. Taken up this time by
Last beat.
Dylan Malchas. You can see the possession stats, Ricky, are pretty much the same as what they were in the first half. So Bella Vista enjoying more possession, but with territory, it's, I presume, the other way round. Where in the first half it was the Raiders that had more territory. In fact, it still is. How about that?
I think the Bella Vista just utilizing or using their opportunities a little bit better than Raiders at the moment. That's why they're in the lead when getting into the 22, looking to score points immediately. That is the mindset of this Bella Vista team.
Just on another point at halftime as well, you were talking about how the community benefits, and you were chatting to some of the ladies and gentlemen who are involved with the program. You know, 150,000 Rand goes into the community through this sort of program. It's wonderful to see. And it's also, you know, essentially the sea is the livelihood of many of the people down here, and they have all those opportunities. So that's why they have a pickled fish celebration on every Friday of this event. Strong blow on the whistle there. Now the big man himself gets a chance here, Mufani. He's 37 years of age, playing his first game, in fact, of this tournament. He's been on the bench. So the Raiders come now. Can they finish this off? Can they get a try? Desperate. No points yet for them in the second half.
Work back. Leave it.
Pass out there from Ulofsa before he got dumped into the deck in the 22. Bella Vista have shown absolutely no remorse as well. They've just kept coming. Good strong defensive work and playing the game at pace too. A lot of inventiveness and a desire to spread the ball wide when they can.
Advantage.
Penalty to the Raiders. Can they trust their line out here, Rick?
They're backing their quick tap. That's what they're backing, physicality.
Well, the physicality factor is not working that well for them now. And of course the penalty count against them is mounting too.
You mentioned earlier, Gavin, about running into faces. Yes, this is the game plan of Raiders, to keep it direct, physical as possible, but sometimes just moving that contact point, utilizing or using your feet to get into space and running onto weaker shoulders, that should be the intent.
I think, as you rightfully say as well, you know, sometimes it's just moving, just shifting it.
Yeah.
Even 2-3 meters, you know, a ball through the hands to the next player who's maybe on the softer shoulder of the defender. Those are important elements that you've got to consider But yes, it's like anything, you know. I mean, these are club players. They all have a livelihood.
Yeah, we can go. There's a sub.
Many of
So
them
now
do.
we can go, yeah. We can go? We can go.
Their fitness levels are not the same. And, you know, I think we're used to judging rugby players by what we see mostly on television, which is at a senior level, international and franchises. Whereas for these men, it's also enjoying the fun of the game and the fun of a tournament.
And one thing we have noticed is they do have the ability to score tries. A lot of these players have the skill, they have the speed. And over the past few days, we've seen a whole lot of exciting tries. So they do have the ability.
I must admit, I think that's a very valid point as well in terms of the playing ability, because I remember last year at this tournament too, we were actually quite taken up by the skill levels of the players with a lot of the things that they do, you know, and the calls that they make. See, Marnus is back on the park, maybe in a different position. We haven't seen enough of their key players, but here they come again. Once again, an opportunity sought there.
Leave it wide, leave it wide.
Carlson taking it up, and that'll be another penalty. I can understand as well where Marvin Styles is coming from. They wanted to play that ball quickly, just taken away. Let's just see how desperate they are to get some points on the board. Play it wide. But they've decided, no, we're going down the middle again. Through that first phase, as they took it a little bit wider. Now another chance for them. Here they come. They've finally got that try they've been looking for. And absolutely, well, there's a fair amount of elation in that team too. He's come onto the park, and Fundani, and he's actually really been part of the mix.
But we spoke about their ability to score tries, exploit the space on the outside, and that was all because of the quick ball generated at the breakdown. And this man, 5 points for the team from Joburg.
He's also got the pace, Shimanga, of that many of the others don't have too, but he hasn't had the opportunities, so they haven't quite got that ball out wide enough to really make things work for him. So Carlson now with the attempted conversion. Well, hasn't quite got it over, unfortunately. It's gone a little wide of the upright. So just the 5-pointer then for the Raiders. Still work for them to do, but they're not out of it yet.
Chimanga, so much speed. He had quite a bit of work to do, but shows how dangerous he is in a small space. Quick feet, and this man gets the result for his team.
Deep kick in onto O'Donoghue. Again, looking to run through them and doing it pretty well too, one's got to say. It's just the resurgence that the Raiders need.
Use it.
Scoring that try. Daniels taking in. Daniels, also an elusive runner. Saw him score a try in the first half for the Raiders. Again, the Raiders.
Release it. Release.
They haven't dominated the physical battle, which I think they really were pinning their hopes on. But yeah, again, we've seen some of the replacements have really been quite useful when they've come on, opened up a little bit of space, but when they get into a good position, it's sometimes just a little basic error that lets them down. This is better play. Sniers is kick in field.
Knock on. First knock.
Sniers has varied his play quite well. It's a great feel for the game. No wins to join the line from the fullback position. Carries the ball in two hands this time. Communication coming from the inside. That there's space with a little grubber kick.
Sorry, Lee. Sorry, just falling over. Sorry.
Well, the Raiders have certainly utilised the majority of their bench in this game, so the tournament has taken out a lot from them, but also tactically, you know, they saw opportunities of bringing on some new players. That's actually helped them to a fair extent too.
And over the last couple of years, we've seen how important the bench has become in the match day 23, lifting that tempo. We know the box has the bomb squad, and that's what the bench needs to do, lift the tempo, execute the game plan even more accurately than the guys that have started. So Raiders definitely plucking the fruits of their decision making, putting on that reserves on the field.
Well, they've got a full new front row too, the Raiders. We spoke about their front row early in the match, and 366 kilograms worth of those three men. But they just seem to have brought a little bit of extra stability and maybe a little bit of extra pace as well. With men who are a little lighter than them. Now, the Raiders, that pass going astray. Haven't you seen some good play as well? He's been very much part of the mix as Shibanga in the second half. Never saw much of the ball in the first half. That's better play. Just opening up space. Pass on the inside there coming from Mandila Ngobe. Well, can they get another try here? I tell you what, that could certainly make the Bella Vista team very, very nervous. Tap and go.
Why not?
Yep, and there it is. Here comes Goliath with real pressure, and he's got over, I think. Yep. Try number 4 then for the Raiders.
And might this be the turning point that they needed? Lachlan, Goliath, the try scorer. But it was once again patience on the attack, and at the right time taking the ball into space. Shows great upper body strength. Goliath. And shakes off a couple of players.
A former grey boy, I might add.
Was waiting for you to sneak that in, Gavin Cowley.
Conversion so important now. Yep, they've got the extra 2 points. It's really game on, yeah.
Yes, again, great intensity by Jalen Benjamin, looking to take the quick tap, but realizes that the defense is not in position, and that man's going to be very difficult to stop that close to the line.
6 minutes and a little bit of change left in this game. Bella Vista have got to make sure, number one, that they play the ball, or the game rather, in the half of the Raiders.
Knock-on advantage.
2 knock-ons there, so they'll come back for the first one. That'll eat up a little bit of time for Bella Vista.
Knock-on.
It was interesting with that kickoff tactic for Bella Vista to go short. Sometimes a team would want to pin the opposition back in deep into the 22, but made it competitive.
Ricky, sometimes the difficulty with that too, and I can speak from experience as well, that as a fly, if you're kicking off, remember, we would put the ball down, not drop kick it. But with a wind at your back, you know, you're kicking for the corner, and if it doesn't, you don't get the right bounce, it goes into touch and goal, and you're back on the halfway line. Midfield scrummage to the opposition. And in this, the game is so tight at the moment, and they want to try and take away anything that might lead to, you know, a sort of a faulty effort from them.
With this 2-point lead from Bella Vista, the margin for error is very small for both teams.
Cross. Bind. Sit.
So Benjamin with a put in. No, rather not Benjamin. Vikes. Vikes, Jalen Fortune, sorry. Getting a few of the players mixed up there.
Use it.
Well, the Raiders have come away with it now. Where's their champion man out on the left wing there? Shibanga. Well, this is not in. This is the fullback Snyers. Also staying on his feet, playing very, very neatly. Tall man, difficult to bring down. Suddenly, there's a little bit of fire in the men from Johannesburg. Oh, looks like that ball's been once again given up by the attacking team, the Raiders. Somewhat wasted. Again, you can see the running capabilities and the speed of this Bi-Vista team. Really good work there from Skippers.
Skippers did so well. He put the grubber through and followed up with a great chase.
Okay. Please do the AR.
And could accurately execute that tackle. Stayed in the fight and dominated his opposition right there.
The key difference again, Ricky, is the Raiders are back in their 22, close to their goal line after being in a very commanding position. Now to work their way back up there, they're running out of time. Well, at least won the line out, which is of some use. Taken up by Donaghy. And they've got men aplenty. I don't know why they didn't move it out wide a little bit more quickly. And they've given away a penalty on top of it. They surely were in a position where they could just keep the ball moving down the line. And that's another 10 meters too. Too much back chat there from the Raiders team, and surely they must just kick at goal now. Bi-Vista. It'll eat up just about all the time that's left. Scotty Fredericks with the ball in hand at the moment. Bearing in mind their normal kicker, John Kubeka, the captain, is off the field. So Scotty Fredericks will take this penalty kick. Bearing in mind, of course, that if he gets this over, it means that the Raiders have to score a try. 5 points should be the difference. So it's important not just from using up the time, but to get the points too. Perfect kick then from Fredericks. That might well have won the match then for Bi-Vista. John Kubeka down on the side there, just sending out some instructions. He is the champion of the club and a very good rugby player too, one's got to add. I'm sorry that he had left the field. So up it goes, well taken. Can they go and score a try and convert it and have an unlikely win here, the Raiders? They've got less than a minute to do it in. O'Donoghue, he's been busy since he's come on as a replacement. Have a look at those rucks and mauls. There's been plenty of them too. That's better play. Fred, beautiful play there from Daniels, getting that inside pass going. Still they come. And everything seeming to work well for them now. That's Schlachwale. So close to the line. Oh dear, it's a knock-on. And a knock-on was the last thing that they wanted. Dylan Malchus unable to hold on to it. The kick downfield is into touch, and surely that's going to be the ball game. There's a couple of seconds left. They'll have the line out, and that'll be the end of the game. What a game it's been in so many ways. Both teams scoring 4 tries. The Raiders looking for an opportunity here to get a 5th try.
Can you guys open up white?
But not just a 5th try, a victory too.
Yeah.
Straight throw in, number 1 for Ulofsa. Seems to have got that one right. Well taken, plucked out of the air. Yeah, they come, the Raiders. Last chance saloon for them. Well, it's going to be a scrum. Well, it should be the end of the game. Wait for it. There it is. The final whistle, the dreaded final whistle. And there'll be a very happy bunch of Bella Vista players, and even more those people in Ceres and surrounds there whose team have come through here. They've got their first victory, but it's importantly the one to win the Shield final against the Raiders from Gauteng, from Johannesburg. A couple of highlights from this game too, and so some excellent play. Bella Vista's key was that they had the ability to run at the opposition, play the ball out wide, and none better than Jared Marnus with that magnificent try, a solo effort from him. Then it was a chance for Manuel, and you can see how many of these tries were scored by the men out wide in the back line. That was a solid effort as well from Daniels, in particular for the Raiders. He started that move. Then it was a charge down the line there from Shimanga, the little chicken wing pass, and Daniels to finish it off. Kulala Daniels with an excellent effort to keep them in the game. It was a vital score at that point in time. But there was no stopping the unrelenting men from Ceres. Bella Vista there with the little pop pass, and Fredericks it was who got over for try number 3.
Wait here.
Some excellent play from Schlatzweyer also opened up things, and there was the pickup and the try from Keegan Litchfield. Well, Bella Vista were not to be undone, and again they found opportunities by playing the ball out wide. And it was a very important try for them as well. Raiders, back again they came. Then it was a charge round. It was Shimanga who managed to get past what has been a very sturdy defense during the course of this game. And then they came. Full tilt with Goliath to keep them right up close, get them within 2 points. But it was not enough at the end of the day.
With the losing captain John Kobeka, not the most attractive or result you wanted, but still spirited second half.
Awuqala ngithanda ukubonga umdali ukusithwala size sifike usuku lanamuhla. Game, it's all about win or lose, but sibonga nje isithuba esilitholile. It's a great experience for us. Sibuya eGoli and getting here, you know, hopefully next year Sibuya is strong.
Yeah, and what did you make of the Western Cape crowd and the people coming out in their numbers? Surely a lovely atmosphere.
Ngicabanga nje ukuthi uthando nado wesidlala ngakhona, and you know it's not about us at the end of the day, it's about the fans, and sithanda ukubonga nje ukuthi size sodwa but sesinama fans ekugcineni, and yeah, ngiyabonga.
John, great to see you still smiling. All the best, safe travels back home.
Ngiyabonga.
And now with the winning captain, Jared Manus, a very happy man indeed.
Yes, very happy to get the W today, especially what happened on Thursday and Saturday. It's a special one and it means a lot to us.
Jared Manus, a personal great performance from yourself. You brought the energy, made the magic in the midfield.
Yeah, I backed myself today. Have a little hamstring injury, but yeah, just to say it's a team effort. Really, our guys believed in ourselves and we backed ourselves. So yeah, great team effort.
It was a great team effort and a great personal effort as well. All the best with the champs further.
Yeah, no, thank you. I just want to thank the Saldanha organisers for organising everything. Really, it's a special tournament to be a part of. And yeah, safe travels back to each and every team, especially the support.